Hello everybody and welcome back. As always, I am Mateo311 and this is your one channel for everything VR related. Today, we have some first impressions for the upcoming VR MMO Zenith. We're also discussing why traditional MMOs just aren't ideal for VR, and we'll go into some features that I would much rather see implemented in the future. There's a lot to unpack here, but I will cut to the chase for the impatient among us. Zenith is actually looking really good. It's just not for everyone. Please keep in mind throughout this video, I'm playing an early alpha build, so it's more like looking at the foundation and framing of a house rather than the finished product. I'm going to break down this video on a few separate topics, which will be listed in the description if you want to jump around. So let's not waste any more time and jump right into this video, starting with what you should expect from Zenith. Ever since VR was announced, this is what we've been hoping for.
Link start!
Unfortunately though, this is about the best that MMOs can deliver. For better or worse, Zenith is a very traditional MMO. If you've played titles like EverQuest, World of Warcraft, or Star Wars: The Old Republic, you already know what I'm about to say. The AI is non-existent, enemies will just stand around and only engage you if you get too close. Combat is extremely repetitive and just not the most fun. Variety only comes in the form of cosmetics, and it's a total grind. Zenith doesn't stray too far from this, and VR doesn't necessarily make an MMO any better. In fact, this might be the completely wrong direction for a VR game to go in. But at the same time, Zenith shows a lot of promise, and some people are going to absolutely love this game. If you like MMOs, and you like VR, then you're going to have a lot of fun in this game. The social aspects of an MMO are stronger in VR, it has the same level of MMO addictiveness, and you could lose yourself in this game for countless hours, just not as long as you normally would in a flat screen MMO. Because now you need to deal with your headset battery life, comfort issues, and physical fatigue. I'm currently injured, and after about 2 hours of standing in this game, I need to take a break. And that's usually about the same time your Quest battery will go dead. Desync issues and non-reactive combat are also so much more apparent in VR. I was coming across players in-game who were not familiar with MMO combat, and they were complaining that this game had terrible hitboxes. But no, that's just how combat in an MMO is, and you're seeing some desync issues. If you haven't played an MMO and you're not familiar with this, a first-person shooter example of this is when you're running away from enemy gunfire, you turn a corner, the enemy should no longer be able to shoot you or even see you, but yet somehow you take a few hits and die.
I'm around the corner! There are certain exceptions. I am around the mother corner! I'm sorry, I just ran in and I am around the corner!
That's because your relative position is different on your screen, the enemy's screen, and on the server. So while you thought you had already turned that corner and were safe, that just wasn't the case server side. MMOs are notorious for this, and they make combat look quite horrendous. You'll get hit by enemies that clearly should not be able to hit you. And when you're up close and personal in VR, it just looks so much worse. But let's move on to the RPG elements of this game. This is what role-playing used to mean.
Greetings, princess. It is I, Carlos the dwarf. The dragon has been slain, and you're free to rule your kingdom.
But MMOs have changed those roles into, hi, I'm the tank, please hit me. I'm the DPS, I'm gonna hit you. And I'm the healer, please don't die. Those are the new roles. This is the holy trinity as created by MMOs. And while you may enjoy that type of gameplay, this is a huge missed opportunity for VR. VR allows you to physically embody creatures of varying sizes, strengths, and skills. Yet Zenith chose humanoid characters across the board. Now maybe this will change later down the line, but this is all we have right now. If you're familiar with VR chat or played Marvel Powers United, you know just how cool it is to switch between characters that vary in size. It adds a whole new dimension to role-playing. Stomping around as the Hulk feels completely different than being Rocket Raccoon, and this is a feature that's only possible in VR. It helps you naturally take on a role. If you're a large hulking character, you act accordingly. And this could have been how VR brings the classical role-playing back into MMORPGs. Instead, we're stuck with those traditional you tank, you hit, and you heal roles. But like I said, some people will be very happy to take on the Holy Trinity, but VR is a new and extremely social platform, and I think it should have been used accordingly. But let's focus on my personal experience and my first 10 hours in game. In classic MMO fashion, I immediately picked up a quest from an NPC, proceeded to kill X number of enemies, traveled to a specific location on the map, turned in the quest, and rinse and repeat. Along the way, I met a bunch of nice people, we killed things together, I collected some loot, kept grinding away, and time just flew by. Playing as a DPS mage, the gesture-based spellcasting system was fun, fairly accurate, and pretty darn cool. It wasn't physically fatiguing, which was nice because I played for hours at a time. The Blade Master was a little bit more physically demanding, but there is an emphasis on charging your attacks, so you're not just constantly swinging away. Overall though, that combat is pretty bland. Even Rec Room has more engaging combat, and I would have loved to see something closer to Carnage Chronicles. Now those are vastly different systems, and I understand they're not really possible in a traditional MMO, but I would be willing to sacrifice a large player base for some more refined combat. Usually the best part of an MMO is the endgame content and those large scale raids, but unfortunately I can't comment on that just yet. From what I have seen, it looks like the developers have created a successful MMO. It's stable, very pretty, addictive, and scratches that very special MMO itch. So if you love VR and you love MMOs, you'll love Zenith. But if MMOs aren't your style, just because this one's in VR won't make a difference. And if you're not a fan of VR but love MMOs, I doubt you'll move from something like World of Warcraft into Zenith. For now though, I'm excited to see how this game will progress over the next few months. I'm optimistic for their launch, and I hope they'll eventually implement some cool new features. But speaking of new features, I want to lay the groundwork for what a VR MMO should look like. Remember guys, VR is a brand new technology, so let's lean into its strengths. Let's not take very traditional gameplay mechanics and just pull them into VR. Let's make something new and amazing. So let's start off with what character creation should look like. Remember, you're going to physically embody this character, so let's make them exactly how you want them. An extensive custom character creation system like that seen in All Points Bulletin should be implemented. And it shouldn't just stop at the initial creation, this should go on throughout the entirety of the game. Players would be able to use in-game currency to modify their hair, add tattoos, dye their clothing, and even bulk up their character. Features like your overall level of musculature or a player's gait can be locked behind a stat rating or a specific class, making everyone unique. And I'd also like to create something I call the flare system. In a world where every single mage is throwing the exact same spells, you should have the option to make yours cosmetically unique. So a high-level mage could use some in-game currency and add some flair to their fireball, making it bright green or even rainbow colored. And this wouldn't just apply to spells. The flare system could include things like different strike animations, the ability to enable auras, or basically anything else that helps make your character look unique. We also need characters of varying sizes because they help you slip right into the role and dramatically change the way the game feels. In-game features should lean on the strengths of VR and adjust according to your characters. Climbing would feel like playing the game to climb, except a 60-pound rogue halfling will do it much better than your wimpy mage. Combat should be something similar to Carnage Chronicles, with larger class options, and quests should have varying objectives and different routes to success. Now that's the foundation I want to see a VR MMO built on. If you have to scale down, instance out the world, and limit large gatherings to specific areas like a tavern or marketplace, I am all for it. What you get from a traditional MMO is cool, these large open areas where you could just randomly run into other players, but it comes at the cost of too many other crucial features. So let me quickly paint you a picture of what my VR MMO world would look like. Mateo311 begins his character creation, selecting the largest, most muscle-bound character available. During that character customization, I get a glimpse of what my character can eventually look like later down the line. If I make him stronger, I can pack on more muscle. So, mission accepted. After a brief tutorial, the game drops me in a tavern with people sitting around, chatting, showing off their weapons, armor, gear, and gearing up for some quests. I quickly make some friends, we grab a quest from the tavern board, and we're teleported into our own specific instance, at the mouth of a cave. We let our trusty halfling rogue lead the way, and his passive skills automatically highlight some traps that were in our path. As we move deeper inside the cave, the low light vision on all non-human characters automatically turns on. Some of us are seeing in grayscale, others are using infrared, and our human cleric casts a spell to illuminate the area. We come across a stone door that just won't open. Even with my brutish character pushing, it only opens a little bit. We can smash it, or maybe the mage has a spell that'll open it up, but the rogue notices a small entrance off to the side. He's the only one small enough to fit, so we let him go and wait patiently. Moments later, we hear a click, the stone door slides open, and immediately our fellow rogue comes running out, being chased by a score of goblins. I move into the doorway, ready to take on the challenge, and now this is the online VR MMO that I want to play. Okay everybody, that was my Zenith first impressions with a little bit extra thrown in there. I know things went a little bit sideways towards the end, but I am extremely passionate about VR and RPGs, and I want to see this technology used to the best of its ability. While Zenith does look like it's going to be a pretty good game, I just don't think it's the best use of VR. Okay everybody, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, consider subscribing, and as always, I will see you guys on next time.